Hello, welcome back to the Untitled SEO podcast. This is your daily dose of SEO daily. I should really have done that intro a bit smoother, shouldn't I? For those of you watching on video, I'm in my home office today, which is why there's neat bits of synth and drum machines and, if you want to know, little modular Moogs. Right, today I'm going to tell you about a really cool article I found. A lot of these daily SEO podcast entries are going to be my general thoughts or anything that I think might be helpful, but some of them are reaction to SEO bits of SEO news, and some of them, like this one, are just a rundown of an article I think it's well worth you reading. So found a brilliant article on the Search Engine Land website, and it's actually about a topic I was planning to write about anyway. And the article is called 16 Reasons Why Your Page Isn't Ranking on Google. So the people who approach us here at the SEO tend to come in two flavours. There are the people who don't really know what SEO is but have heard good things about it. And then there are people who have had a crack at doing their own SEO, done well usually, but just want to push further forward. This article is going to apply more to that second group. It's a list of things that, to be honest, we tend to have a look at with almost every new client we start working with. These are several kind of quite common things that we see, and I'm going to run through them. I'm going to put the link to the article in the show notes if you're listening on the podcast, or in the YouTube description if you're watching on YouTube. But I just want to run you through them, just sort of give you my flavour on that. So the first thing to check is, are you blocking crawling? So crawling is when Google sends its spider out to your website and it follows all the links on your site and reports back to Google what it's found, and that's one of the things Google uses to learn what's on your website. Now you might be blocking that crawler without even realizing it. For example, on both WordPress and Wix there's a function that blocks your website from search engines. It says, look, don't list this. And we've come across clients a few times when we first look at their website, we find out that their website is actually set not to be crawled. It's giving a sort of two fingers up to Google or all the other search engines, which I'm increasingly saying because Bing is starting to look better. The next one, indexing issues. So this might be that Google just thinks the pages aren't worth including in results. It could be because they're short. It could be because they're not very comprehensive. There's many different ways and reasons that Google won't actually include a page. Best way to check this is to connect your site to Google Search Console, and there's a report that says these are the pages we're not going to include in the index, and here's why, because you can fix them. Internal links. If you don't have enough internal links, Google finds it harder to assess how important which pages of your site you believe are important and thereby default other people might think are important. I'm not going to go into a great deal of depth with internal linking because it's a whole other topic, but suffice to say, if you haven't spent time building links between your pages, so if you've got a page about mugs and you talk about mugs on another blog post, link the word mugs to the main mugs, you're not going to go wrong just by adding a bunch of internal links. Next up, speed. Is your website slow? If it's slow, it's a poor user experience. If it's a poor user experience, Google will not rank you as highly. I was going to say punish, but I held short. I don't like using the word punish around Google because, quite frankly, Google doesn't punish anyone. They just have assessments of how important they think you are. Rendering. So this just means, does your page load? Now, it may load well for human beings, but does it load well for Google? Again, we're getting a bit tech, so I'm not going to go into a great deal of depth with that. Next, we're going to have a look at some of the content-related reasons. So your website's rankability largely comes down to what content is on it. And first of all, are you cannibalizing yourself? If you've written loads of articles, even if they're brilliant and very rankable articles, but you've written them targeting exactly the same keywords, then there's a good chance you're cannibalizing yourself. Google's going to look at your website and say, look, well, we don't know which of these many articles we ought to rank number one. So that's, again, I'm not going into a lot of depth. Read the link, click the link and read the full article if you want to know more. Content format. This is a slightly more complex thing to explain, but are you writing the sort of articles people want to read? So, for example, if you want to rank number one for a nuance around printed mugs, custom-made mugs, what angle have you written the article to be? Have you written it from the perspective of a buyer? I tell you what, this actually rolls into the next point on this search engine land article. Are you writing your articles to match search intent? Now, all search intent means is if somebody wants to get custom-made printed mugs, they're probably going to search things to look out for with custom-made printed mugs, or how to find the best printed mugs. If you're writing articles like that, that matches the intent of the buyer. If you're writing articles about things like the history of printed mugs, the buyer intent isn't there, because someone searching for information on the history is going to be less interested. Next one. You might not rank because the competitor content is better. Always keep an eye on your competitors in SEO. It's really important. If they're doing a much better job than you, then you need to up your game. For this one, Search Engine Land put poor optimization as a reason. That's kind of very broad. I'm just going to skip past that one. Number 11, uniqueness. This uniqueness in SEO is one of the most misunderstood things. But long story short, are you writing original content or are you nicking it from other places? I'm going to roll AI into this as well. A lot of people get very concerned about unique content in the context of other people nicking your content. That's not really an issue. Think about it. No one would ever put out press releases because press releases are just copy pasted onto news websites. If you're the originator of the content, then you're usually all right. Don't use the same content lots and lots of times on different pages on your site, because that isn't good. Next up, language. If you all want to rank in France, are you all putting the French language tag on the page? Is it written in French? That seems like quite a straightforward one to me. Search Engine Land have put manual action as a reason why you're not ranking. If anyone's watching the video version of this, it's really disconcerting seeing your face on the screen. So I keep making eye contact with myself and then I realise that that's not where the camera is, it's there. Anyway, getting distracted. If you get a manual action, it's a little tap on the shoulder from Google, sent to you via Google Search Console that says, "Oi, no." You're going to already know you're doing bad SEO. They don't come as a surprise as a whole very often. Links is the next one. Are people linking to your website? If people, I'm going to shortcut this one, if people more important than you and more authoritative than you are linking to your website, that allows you to sort of bathe in their reflected glory. Google will look and go, well, this little rocket company in Ipswich, well, they're being linked to by NASA, so they must be important. It's a weird one, isn't it? So EEAT signals is the next one. In short, are you authoritative and are you making it clear why you're authoritative? Why should people care? I'm not going to go into a great deal of depth because it's important but slightly contentious. Number 16, algorithm reasons. Stuff changes. Basically, Google can make a big change in their algorithm and your rankings can drop or disappear. Doesn't tend to happen that dramatically very often. We've had a few big ones recently, but again, if you get a big drop because of an algorithm, you might see it coming anyway because you know what you've done. I don't like to worry people too much about that. Remember, at the end of the day, all of these things I've mentioned just prove that SEO is about amplifying excellence. It's not about conjuring excellence out of thin air. I hope this is useful. Please let me know in the comments and please subscribe if you haven't already. Please let me know what you think of this new daily format. Do you like the video thing? Do you like seeing various parts of my existence? Do you want to hear from other people in the team? We hired somebody new today. We hired an absolutely excellent new member of the team who I will introduce to the world very shortly. Other than that, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, thanks for being involved, and crack on and race up those rankings. Oh, where's the stop button? Stop!